All right, we're back here once again. Liquid Measures, episode 1.5.
4.
No, it's 5.
Is it 4? Is it 5?
It's 5.
Well, that's...
No, we're not. No, because see what's going on is that sometimes we sit here and shoot a lot, so we drink a lot,
Oh, my.
and maybe we don't know.
This is 1.5.
It is 1.5.
It is 1.5.
Thank you, Bar Wench.
Anytime.
All right. Now that we've got that out of the way, this is what we've got. This episode, Indica. I know it's spelled kind of funny, and we don't have Zoom, so you really can't see it.
We
Take
do
my
have
word
Zoom.
for it.
That's what our hand's for.
This is Zoom. Check this out. Oh, no,
Let's go up.
up.
And there we go.
And there it is.
There we go.
Right there it is.
This is Zoom.
Yeah.
This is old school Zoom.
That's how that rolls.
This is how we did it in the 80s.
For those of us that could afford cameras in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I could do that.
so we've got another pale ale, and I'm going to take this one over to Chris because he's researched it.
Wow.
I know, but he
Not
reads.
really a research, just more of a reading about Lost Coast because I didn't know anything about it. Basically, this is a chick beer. Not that it's a girly beer, but it's brewed by a company that's owned by 2 women. So we're going to test something out that's a little bit different because I don't think any of the other brews that we've tested have been predominantly owned by women, at least.
Not that I know of, and that's and that's a pretty good market because generally this market is run by men. So let's see what happens.
Let's pour one. We each get a full beer on this one.
We do.
All right. Where'd you pick this one up, Chris?
I picked this one up at McScrooge's Liquor right off of Cedar Bluff.
Oh, right there at the corner of Cedar Bluff and Parkside.
Yep.
But since we're in internet land and you're hearing us everywhere, just do your download search. Find out where it's at. Because I'm lazy, I'm not going to do it all for you.
Well, that pours.
There's a lot of head.
Why, thank you.
Everybody loves head.
That they do.
Head shampoo.
That pours a really thick head.
That pours nicely.
That is really nice. I didn't even finish the bottle out. I still got a little bit of my bottle left.
That pours nicely.
Sometimes you got to go slow to finish.
Yeah.
That's a good statement to live by.
in
right
drinking
there.
as
I'm
in
just
other
saying.
things as well.
Well, all right. On the pour, folks. I got a nice head. It seems to be kind of moderate lacing. Oh, well, I'm going to actually put that at minimal on the lacing because it didn't stick around a whole lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, it's it's kind of hard because
It's going
I've
to
still got a
depend
lot in
on
there.
the glass, though.
Yeah, I mean, look at this.
I mean,
in
I've
the
got
pint glass.
In a pint glass, I've got a 3-finger head, so
Was that metric or standard?
He don't know. He just
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, in the globe glass, I'm looking at a 1/2 inch after settling. A little bit of lacing. It's obviously unfiltered. I mean, that's about as cloudy as it gets, which that usually means flavor, to be 100% honest. It's off-white head, ambery, almost a reddish amber pour. It looks good at this point.
he loves IPAs, so he's going to talk about this and talk about this and talk about this.
I think we've established in a previous episode how I get with IPAs. It's yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to sniff it.
Let's sniff it.
I like to sniff it.
Sniff, don't snort. That's hoppy.
Yes, it's very hoppy.
Fruity.
it's a lot of fruity.
Yeah.
That's obviously Cascade hops.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, that
it
definitely
is. I
Cascade.
can. Wow. I can breathe now. Yeah, I can breathe now. It's not quite as good as Vicks Vapor Rub, but it's pretty good.
A friend of ours that I used to work with, Jason still works with, calls that particular thing vapory.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the vapory beers, but this one is definitely vapory. It's fruity. It's got a lot of yeast esters. That's what you're smelling.
Yes.
It's got a lot of esters left over from the fermentation process. And again, I can talk forever on IPAs. Let's drink it, guys.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what I'm saying.
Let's see what it
Let's have a
tastes
drink, see what it
I'm
tastes
gonna
like.
have to cut through the head over here.
Now there's some hops, folks.
Wow.
There is some hops.
Um,
Ooh,
Wow, the kick at the end is nice.
yeah.
I like that crispness at the end.
I like it.
Just kind of, it's almost like the center of your tongue dries out, just kind of falls off the sides. It's just that crisp, no aftertaste. I've got no aftertaste in my mouth.
I really don't have an aftertaste on it, but it does dry out the tongue quick.
It's definitely a dry beer. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about that.
Yeah, this is not a summer beer drinking after you've had a long day. It is not. Because you'll just have to go out and find something else to quench your thirst. This is not a thirst quenching beer. This is just a very, very dry.
I'm getting very little maltiness in there.
Yeah,
There's a
I'm
lot
not getting.
of fruit.
A
Yeah.
lot of fruit.
A whole lot of fruit in it.
I get almost a piney taste, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, have you seen hops?
Yeah.
Almost looks like a little tiny pine cone.
Right.
I almost get the pine cone taste.
Yeah.
I do when I chew it. You know, the longer I let it set in my mouth, the more of the piney taste I get. Not quite up there with gin, but you know, because you know, if you drink gin, it's like licking a pine tree. But this is not, you know, not quite that.
How many
That
pine
level.
trees do you lick? Just
You have no idea how many pine trees I have lived. Let me tell you. Some things you do when you're little and you just can't forget. You
I
can't,
understand.
you know, there's some things you can't unsee. There's some things you can't unlick. You
Absolutely.
cannot unlick a pine tree.
You cannot unlick a pine tree.
Yeah.
I must lick a pine tree, so
You
I
must
can
lick a-
never unlick a pine
Yes, you
tree.
must lick a pine tree.
This must be
And if
right.
you've never licked a pine tree, please go out and do it just once. And you got to make sure that you got some pine sap running down, because if you don't get the sap, it's not worth it.
It's never
does
worth
it
licking
need to
anything
be
if
the
you don't
entire
get the sap.
tree, or
Well, not
can
the-
you
not
just
the
lick
entire
some
tree.
pine needles? I mean, 'cause
No,
that
no,
has
no,
some
no,
sap
no,
on
no,
it.
no. You've got to lick the actual tree
The whole tree.
with the sap.
Okay.
Lick.
Well,
I got
you know what I always say.
Yeah.
You know, I always say it's never worth licking anything unless you get the sap.
Yes, you have to get the sap when you
You
lick
got to
it.
get the sap when you lick it.
And that's all there is to
It'd be a
that.
waste if you
All
didn't.
right, it absolutely would be. All right, so let's have another taste and see what we get now that it's aired out a bit. I still get the fruitiness. I get
Kind of getting like a little bit of an orange zest.
there. You go, orange peel. I was
Right there.
Yep, I was getting ready to say that. I've hit. It changes flavors a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I like about
There-
an IPA.
there's something a little different every time I'm eating it, and that's not a bad thing. You know, it's not a bad thing. I mean, if you like surprises, this is a good beer for you.
It's not overly priced either. It's $7.99 for a 6-pack.
And that's good. You know, that's a good price point in our area.
That's a very good price point for this complex of a beer.
Yeah.
It really is.
And we don't know about everybody's prices. We are in East Tennessee doing this, so this is, you know, $8 for a 6-pack is normally our, not a high-end beer, but it's kind of like a mid-range beer. You know, $8 a 6-pack. You know, generally your Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, that type of thing run between $5 and $6 a 6-pack. And then you jump up to your mid-range beers, which is about $8 a 6-pack.
Exactly.
And then, you know, from there you go up. But, you know, for $8 for a 6-pack for this mid-range beer is not bad.
And then on occasion you pull a dumbass Don and pay $16 for a 4-pack, but hey, you know, it was good stuff. I have to say, it really was. That's a good Burton baton.
But that's why we're doing this, so you don't have to. So you know what you're getting into, because you know if you're like us, your money is way too hard to come by to just go out and spend and spend and spend and try to find something that you like. So we're going to do it for you.
Unless you're taking little kids' milk money, and then that's a whole nother story.
You weren't supposed to tell.
Can I tell secrets?
A straight beer. All right, overall, guys, I've got to go with what'd you say this had on beer rate? ratebeer.com?
Ratebeer.com had a 98 for this one overall.
Well, since we do a 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 9.
I'm still, you know, when I drink a beer, I know what I want to get into. And with this having a different taste every time it's happening, I can't go that high with it. I'm going to go about a 7 on it because it is a good beer. I'm not saying it's a bad beer, but I want to know what I'm tasting every time, and this changes every time. If I was in a mood where I wanted something different every time I took a drink, I'd be happy with it, but that's not who I am. So,
Chris?
I like the complexity of the different flavors, mate, to be honest with you. I'm going to give it a 9 as well.
I've got to say, with IPAs, it's right up there with the high dollar ones. For the price, this may be the best bang for the buck as far as IPAs go, folks, honestly. Well, guys, let's finish it off. And this has been episode 1.5.
1.5.
1.5. 1.5.
1.5. And in case you're keeping score, this is Lick a Pine Tree episode.
Lick a Pine Tree. That's what we're going to title this one. Liquidmeasures.info on the internet. Look us up. Join the site. Let us know what you think. Sláinte, guys.